On Saturday, November 15, 2014, the Inlandia Institute, publisher of Mr. Littleworth's book, and RUSD held a joint event in tribute to Mr. Littleworth. We invite you to view a glimpse at some of the highlights from this very special event.
Well, we knew we needed to give Art Littleworth the kind of honor that we knew he deserved for all the work that he did with Riverside Unified. And we knew it had to be something substantial. But we didn't want to just put the name on the wall again. We wanted there to be something more, something that spoke to the history and all the actions that he did to make his name so valuable to us. And this was a great way to do it, because by creating a timeline, both of his life, the city's life, and the country's civil rights history, we were able to tie all those things together and really make an honor that was valuable.
In 1965, as the nation was in the midst of the civil rights movement, a bold change was underway in the city of Riverside that would have a lasting impact felt far beyond the city's borders.
When I first came, I was fortunate to have been embraced by many of the leaders who had participated in the talks and what led up to the voluntary busing. Because of that, I sat and I soaked in the history and everything that they were saying. There was one best-kept secret, still a secret to this day. Who burned Lowell? No one would ever talk. No one would ever say anything. I asked, but no one would ever communicate with that.
That year, Lowell Elementary School, which served mostly African American and Mexican American students, was burned, and Riverside's Board of Education soon became part of national history.
I hope that they understand that Riverside was in a pivotal time, and that instead of handling something in a very detrimental way, we rose to the occasion. We had greater goals as a city, and that Riverside Unified was at the very heart of that. And the changes that we made have really directed the city to this day and made something substantial. So I hope they understand that.
The school district, well, as I now reflect, there's nothing new under the sun. The fact that one of the points that the NACP had made was to bring history for black, brown, and white to appreciate the contributions of all. And then here I come, bouncing into town, having been hired, and set up the Black History classes. And they also had Chicano history and women's history, but set up those classes for Riverside and for North and Poly.
Wow.
Okay? And those classes, the beautiful thing, they were mixed, very diversified. It wasn't just all black, all brown, and it was black, white, and white.
I was on the board 17 years. I fortunately had the opportunity to name or play a leading role in the naming of the Martin Luther King High School.
Led by School Board President Arthur Littleworth, the Riverside Unified School District became the first large school district in the nation to voluntarily integrate its schools.
He made a difference in the life of so many kids.
Nearly 50 years later, Mr. Littleworth has written a book chronicling this time in our community's history. No Easy Way, Integrating Riverside Schools, a Victory for Community.
To see the amazing accomplishments in this book that he made and that the school board made at that time, and how they stood firm in the face of really public frustration. I'm really proud of them. They set a wonderful precedent, and I hope that in times of crisis, boards like us today would remember that.
I was honored to sit in the chair that he graced.
At the same time, the Riverside Unified School District completed improvements to the theater that bears his name at the Poly High School campus. These improvements include improved signage, a renovated foyer, and a large graphic timeline of historic events related to the fight for civil rights and Mr. Littleworth's life.
Well, before the improvements were made, this was kind of a drab and dreary foyer into the Poly Theater, and I think, Poly deserves better. And the improvements, at really a minimal cost of money, were just amazing. I love the timeline. It gives a history for the students to recognize that they just didn't happen to be here. That Poly has a history. That Riverside Unified has a history.
I'll answer it this way. There's a African adage that says, a man or woman without knowledge of himself is like a tree without roots. It cannot grow.
I think that it is wonderful tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, good. You had fun?
Yes, yes.
What do you think about the mural?
I haven't
You
looked.
haven't yet? No.
Busy. Sat right down and started signing.
But I think that's good.
It looks wonderful.
Yeah.
Can I ask you too, what did you think about this?
Oh, it was so impressive. We were just thrilled. It brought me to tears, and very, very nicely done.